Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Immigration Talk Show. I'm your host, Nipasa, and I'll be joined soon by my co host, Sam. But before that, let me welcome you to Daily Immigration Dose. So, thank you so much, friends, for joining us. We are streaming live right now on YouTube and also on LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and Instagram, and on X as well. So, please feel free to join us, by commenting. You can also participate on this very discussion by calling us on this number 425-436-6335, and the access code is 988-888. It'll be nice, to have a discussion together since it is a very interesting topic that we're going to talk about. But before the topic, I have this very important disclaimer that we've got to keep in mind. So yes, by watching our videos, you understand that the information shared, including user comments, is not legal advice. Use at your own risk. Our intention is never to offend, it's just a casual exchange of ideas. So, friends, with that in mind, today's discussion is going to be on this topic: who is ICE, and what does ICE really target. And we are going to explore some real stories as well, with regard to ICE and who ICE has affected in the United States. So yes, to help me also in this discussion, please help me welcome my co-host, Sam. Hi, Sam, how are you doing today?
Hi, Nabas. I'm doing great. And hello, everyone, and welcome back, everyone, to Immigration Talk Show. Today, we are here with another very important discussion. And today, Nipasa, I think we will directly understand, the real meaning of ICE. Also, we'll understand what is the main purpose of ICE and how slowly it has been changing their aims also and how people are getting affected. So, of course, there are lots of stories we have been hearing in news channels and so many different platforms. But today we are going to talk about some different stories. And with that, I think I have some stories and Abbas also have some stories. So, friends, stay tuned because this session is going to be really interesting and lots of information will also be there. But it would be lovely if you could also join us. And it's not only our stories or our case studies, you can also share yours if you have been seeing somewhere or if you have gone through, then please let us know and dial this number that is 425-436-6335 and the access code is 988-888. But as usual, before diving into our topic, let's have a quick news update. So I think let me go first and after
All
that,
right.
Napasa will continue. Okay. So, friends, this is another very important news update, and that is can you lose your green card overnight? Indians in the US are worried right now. So, let's see what this news is all about. So, today we are going to bring you the story that is sending shockwaves through the Indian immigrant community in the US. That is, could permanent residents who have lived in America for years suddenly lose their green cards? And with this, many fear that the answer might be yes. So, recent incidents have caused a wave of anxiety, and especially among those who have ever used public benefits like food assistance or housing aid. So, even though new policies don't technically apply to current green card holders, but confusion is all over. And if we talk about the concern, then airport detentions, forced green card surrenders, and unexpected policy interruptions. So this is something that is very new, and for the very first time, we all have been seeing that a lot of interrogations are taking place. Then, of course, people are highly anxious. Confusion is so much, and all these are creating a lot of fuss. But this isn't just a problem for Indians in the US. In fact, back home in India, law-abiding citizens are also facing extreme scrutiny from their own tax authorities. So, a shocking post on Reddit has gone viral right now that is detailing the struggles of an honest taxpayer working in Bengaluru's software industry for 21 years. And 21 years is not a short term, it's a long term. And according to the user, their income tax return was picked up for scrutiny. And despite filing everything diligently and paying taxes on both salary and capital gains, the issue was a misinterpretation of mutual fund transaction that was led to a hefty penalty under Section 271 AAC. of the Income Tax Act 1961. So this was a kind of misinterpretation, and this was a mistake that happened. And despite submitting bank statements, stock trade records, and a detailed ledger, the tax officer allegedly ignored the evidence and classified the investments as unaccounted income. So this is really shocking and this is really disturbing because this wasn't expecting because someone who is following the rules and paying taxes accordingly has also go through these problems. And also, what's even more concerning is that the taxpayer claims they were denied a fair opportunity to defend themselves. Now, this is something again very shocking that if someone is in the court hearing and they are just putting on the allegations and they are not even getting the chance, to make themselves prove that they are not the one who did this crime. And this is what happened with them. They applied for a virtual hearing but never received the login details. Even after requesting a reschedule, the penalty order was issued without their input. So, of course, it was frustrating, and the taxpayer also asked that every young kid today knows that mutual funds cannot be purchased without linking a PAN card and a bank account. So, why am I being penalized as if I am hiding money? So, friend, this was another very important news update. And of course, nobody wants to go through with these process, but these are the things that's happening. And today the session is all about bringing up new stories and new case studies so that our friends can, at least get an example and understand each incident in a better way. So, yeah, Nipasa, please continue with the other news update that our friends
Thank
should
you
know
so much,
about.
Sam, for that. And absolutely right. I mean, we are going to have this very important discussion. But before that, I have this news update, and that is, US visa screening continues even after insurance. And why are Indian immigrants concerned right now? So, yes, a recent confirmation from the US government has sent shockwaves through the immigrant community. Visa screening does not stop after a visa is issued because our President Trump's administration, though it's officially X account, reaffirmed that through its official X account, if you're following Trump administration already, you must have seen this, reaffirmed that visa holders are continuously monitored to ensure that they comply with all US laws and immigration rules. And failure to do so could really lead to visa revocation and even deportation. The US Department of State, has backed this claim, reinforcing that having a green card does not guarantee indefinite residency. And you must have seen this news, and this being spoken out loud actually by the Trump administration. So, yes, adding to the uncertainty, Republican J.D. Vance recently stated in an interview that even if personally had a favorable opinion of a green card holder, it does not mean they have an indefinite right to stay in the US. This aligns with a broader push by conservative policymakers, to tighten immigration laws, citing economic and national security concerns. And for Indian green card holders, particularly the elderly individuals who spent who part of their year in India, and this news is deeply unsettling because reports also indicate that US Customs and Border Protection, that is the CBP, officers are targeting returning permanent residents who have spent extended time abroad. So many are really being pressured to sign Form I-407, which voluntarily relinquishes their green card status. So you must have heard this. In fact, even in some discussions earlier, a couple of days, and even today, we spoke with our attorneys in our webinars here in our channel. So you must have also heard this news. And those who refuse, reportedly, they face threats of detention or deportation. I mean, refusing to, fill up the form 40, I-407. And this growing fear of losing residency has really left many trapped, unable to visit their home country, even, without risking their status. In the United States, immigration attorneys argue that CBP officers may be overstepping their authority right now, but The psychological impact, especially on the elderly, is undeniable. And with India being one of the largest sources of legal immigrants to the US, this uncertainty is making many question whether applying for a green card is worth taking that risk. So, what do you think? I mean, should the US clarify its policies to prevent unnecessary fear among immigrants? Or what do you think? I mean, it's already fear mongering. Whatever we see or hear in the news is definitely creating some sort of fear or anxiousness, every day waking up to all these kinds of news. Of course, probably the good is also happening, but all these are overpowering all the rest of the news. So let us know, what do you think also? What do you think? Should the US really clarify its policies to prevent all these unnecessary fear among immigrants? And yeah, let us know, what do you think about this? You can comment, you can also call us up, and the number to call us up is 425-436-6335, and the access code is 988-888. And that said, coming back to our topic of discussion today, very important. So, who does ICE really target? We are going to explore this, and we are going to explore through real stories as well. But we often hear about so many immigration raids happening, right? Deportations, these are the latest trends, and detentions, of course, apart from H1B, which is okay, but even H1B is being overpowered right now by deportations, detentions, raids. And do we really know who ICE is going after? It's is it just the undocumented immigrants, or are real legal visa holders also getting targeted? Because news has it, right, just now the news which both of us shared, they are showing that
Yeah.
they are being targeting people who are green card holders as well. And how good news is that? So today we are really going to explore some of these stories. And Sam, would you like to start off first with who really is ICE? How do we conventionally know them, and how have their duties or latest actions changed from what they conventionally should have been?
Yeah. I think, yeah, that will be a good start because, before diving into the story, let's also have a quick brushing up about what actually ICE is. So, we all know, friends, that ICE stands for Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and that is a government agency under the DHS, that is Department of Homeland Security. So it was created on 2003, in 2003, and the main focus was to enforce the immigration laws and also to protect the national security and maintain the public safety. And if we talk about the responsibilities, then also their main responsibility is firstly to enforce the immigration laws within the US and also to see, I mean, to also to investigate activities like human trafficking or drug smuggling or any illegal immigration activities that are taking place. So these were the main agendas of ICE. ICE is not only for the immigration purpose, but also if any illegal activities like human trafficking or I would say any a violation is happening, or any drug smuggling things are happening, then they are definitely going to stand against it and they will take the action. The agency also plays a key role in securing the US borders and ensuring that people entering the country are entering in a legal way. And ICE works to uphold US laws while protecting the nation from potential threats. So their job basically is to find and remove the people who are in the country illegally, and that is their main agenda. But the stories that we are going to share, it's not only about the people who entered the US illegally or did something illegal, but they are the legal citizens, but somehow ICE is also, putting them in the deportation sector, and they are claiming that they have lack of documents or something is not appropriate to continue their legal status. So yeah, I think this is all about ICE and who ICE is targeting. I think let that question to be asked from our viewers because of course we have lots of information and Friends, you also let us know that who do you think that who ICE is really targeting on? And if it's legal, illegal, or whatsoever, please feel free to put them on the comment section, and we will definitely have a great discussion on that. So, Napasa, why don't you go ahead and let us know the first case
Sure,
study?
Sam. And no, talking about ICE, uh, really, I mean, when you look at it, of course, merger of the investigative and interior enforcement elements, of the former U.S. Customs Service and the Immigration and Natural Service. So, of course, right now, maybe ICE has more than 20,000 law enforcement and support personnel. And, they are in more than 400 offices in the US and around the world. So, this agency is huge, and they
Wow.
are, very devoted to whatever operations they have. And absolutely, they do have enforcement and removal operations as well. And of course, homeland security investigations. They have the management and administration, so much happening. So, yes, coming to what we have been seeing lately, though, we see that ICE has definitely conducted a lot of raids, whether you see in schools, even worship places, or just like that on the on I mean roads and public
Yeah.
places. People are questioned, they are interrogated about
Yeah.
who they are, if they have a real identity, if they belong to the US, and if they do, what documents do they have with them at that moment, right? So many things. And especially with President Trump's administration, everything has just become more strict. There is so much scrutiny everywhere, even in schools. I mean, there is fear everywhere, especially when we look at news, waking up to all these news every day. It's not relaxing anyone, It's not like, okay, we are fine, we're safe, it's time to have a good day. Nothing like that. But,
Yeah.
things are happening. And it's just been when? Since January 20th, right? Trump
That's right.
came into power again for the second time. And look at what he has created. There's not been a single day probably that we haven't seen Trump being on the news, and I won't say chaos, but he's definitely made his mark every day. Whatever changes he has been bringing, and all these new updates, especially with regard to immigration also.
Yeah.
So yes, it's really a serious matter. And looking at some real stories that we should dive in today. Friends, I would say you should also share with us. Do join us on call. And our phone number is 425-436-6335, and the access code is 988-888. That said, I also would, like to appeal to folks out there who are watching us right now. If you haven't as yet subscribed to our channel, do subscribe. Our handle is at Immigration Talk Show in YouTube. And we are also available in LinkedIn, Facebook, X, Instagram, and yeah, check us out. It'll be really nice to have you join us, connect with us. So,
That's right.
well, Sam, sorry, like it took me a while, to start off with my first real
That's
story.
okay.
So, I have this first one, which is like about, ICE, who has accused of violating rights in immigration arrest, and it's a developing story out of Chicago. And immigration activists and attorneys have accused U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, of violating the rights of 22 individuals, including a U.S. citizen. So this is a little different, like, I won't say like it's from a different point of view, I would say. So
Hmm.
during this recent enforcement arrests, these arrests were occurred in the first weeks of President Trump's second term, and they are now the subject of a federal complaint filed by the National Immigrant Justice Center, the NIJC, on behalf of advocacy groups. So the allegations, claim that ICE agents breached a 2022 legal agreement, governing how they can conduct collateral arrests in six states: Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Missouri, Kentucky, and Wisconsin. So, this agreement was originally established following a lawsuit over 2018 immigration sweeps, setting guidelines for ICE to only make warrantless arrests when an individual is likely to flee. So, if you look at the key allegations in this case, ICE allegedly arrested individuals who were not the primary targets of their operations. And then a US citizen was detained and handcuffed for hours before being released. And many of those arrested had no criminal records except for one person with a DUI charge. And ICE raided a Mexican restaurant in Liberty, Missouri on February 7th, detaining 12 workers without showing probable cause. So, I mean, if you talk about the people who were detained, also, one was Abel Orozco Ortega, a 47-year-old undocumented immigrant, arrested on January 26th while returning home from buying tamales for his family. So ICE was, actually looking for his son who shares the same name, but detained Ortega instead. So his family now struggles financially with his wife battling breast cancer also and struggling to pay their mortgage. So Ortega remains detained in Indiana. So if you talk about the legal and political impact of, I mean, in this case, this scenario, um, the federal complaint really, right now, they are seeking the release of two individuals who remain detained, firstly. Secondly, it's like sanctions against ICE officers involved in the arrest and, well, greater transparency in ICE enforcement practices. I think everybody is looking for this third part, at least. We all, I mean, even as the public, the people just living in the US with all these changes happening all the time and raids and arrests, deportations, detentions happening. It's like a new thing. It's like, every day we are hearing a new story. And we also really want transparency, what's happening. So, I mean, yes, ICE has declined to comment on this, citing ongoing litigation as well. But the case could have, nationwide implications, because even advocates, for that matter, in the other states may join the effort to challenge ICE's practices. And the federal government has, until early April to respond, and the current legal agreement expires in May. So I think sanctuary cities like Chicago, they remain at the center of legal battles over immigration, especially. And, what is going to happen? What do you think about this case? And do you also feel like we need more transparency, especially in ISIS enforcement practices, especially lately? What about you, Sam?
I think, yeah, that's very well put up. And right now, we have been seeing that how ICE is, of course, taking steps in a very aggressive way, in a very bold way. So I think it's their agenda right now that, of course, if they have to remove the illegal immigrants, because there are so many, there are millions and millions. I think the number might be like crossing more than 14 million illegal immigrants in US right now. So it's not possible for anyone, to have uh, I would say, a very lenient or a very soft way to detain people. Of course, they have to follow the rules also, and they have so many things also to keep on, going that no illegal immigrant should cross the border. So because of that also, they are also under pressure and they also have a lot of work to do. So it's not that, we are thinking that ICE are just targeting these people and these people are only suffering. Of course, the illegal immigrants, they are suffering very badly. But the ICE people, I mean, the ICE officials, they also have such a lot of, I would say, a very huge pressure in their mind every day because they have been having that target to detain like 1,200 to 1,500 illegal
Yeah,
immigrants in a day, right?
yeah,
So that is also a very tough job for them. And that too, for whom are they doing? For their nation only, for the American people, right? For,
yeah.
I mean, for their security, for their safety. And that's what the main agenda of ICE is when it was created in 2003. The main purpose was only to have a national security and to remove and find the illegal immigrants from the US. So I think they are working there, whether it's aggressively or whether, of course, the way they are working is really shocking and wasn't expecting this much. But I think that's how Trump's administration has put up. And I think instead of questioning, it's better to focus more on solutions because there's still a way, you know,
Yes,
it's
I mean,
nothing
we
that,
could focus,
yeah,
but is it really going to happen? Like you and I, we can talk here. Maybe we can focus on the solutions, but I mean, our focus, is it really going to help? Because, of course, like you're saying, the targets of arresting this many people daily is a different
mhm,
thing. But also among those, if they're making the wrong arrest, I mean, it's circling back to them, right? It's backfiring
right.
at them. So,
Mhm,
I mean, this situation wouldn't have arisen if they would have known who are they really arresting. I mean, just
right.
how can they
And that's
make such.
happening. And that's happening because, you know, the stories that we are going to share, I mean, the story that I also went through, there were some like mistakenly ICE has arrested, mistakenly ICE has deported, or, you know, mistakenly these things, actions have been taken.
And
So
now, like,
we,
ICE is
Mhm,
supposed to be forgiven because of their mistakes, right? But would that be the same case if it was the other way around? Like, if somebody
right.
really mistakenly did something, and would they be forgiven? It
Of
wouldn't
course
be like
not.
that, right?
That's right. That's right. But I think, yeah, of course, that's a big, I would say, a major concern. And okay, I think, of course, that's a lot to discuss. And right now, let's also understand these incidents with some case studies. So, okay,
Sure.
let me go with the first one. And this is a very famous news right now that's making headlines, and that's about detention of Canadian actress Jasmine Mooney by U.S. immigration authorities. So, Canadian actress Jasmine Mooney was is a very famous actress, and she is also best known for her role in the American Pie movie and also in TV show in iZombie. But recently, her life, you know, took a very dramatic turn when she was held by ICE at the US-Mexico border for 12 days. And let's understand what the incident happened and why she got detained, everything. So Jasmine Mooney was actually traveling to the US from Mexico when she was detained by ICE at the border. She was taken into custody without warning, and this is a part of discussion that why she was taken into custody without even warning, right? Because despite having her visa paperwork and job offer with her, she was still taken into the custody. And in her own words, also, she said that I feel like I have been kidnapped. And this is a big statement, a major concern. Because when somebody is saying that they have been taken into custody and when somebody is saying that they have been kidnapped, of course, we have the two notions regarding these two sentences. But she mentioned the same feeling about taken into custody and about being kidnapped. So Jasmine was held for 12 days in an Arizona detention center, and her experience was deeply disturbing and depressing. So she described that her time in detention was inhumane. She and about 30 other women were also there who were reportedly kept awake for 24 hours. They were wrapped in chains, as she described, and she also said that the conditions were harsh because they were placed in a concrete cell with no natural light. There was a fluorescent light on 24/7. There was no blanket, no food, and no mats to sleep, and a very limited bathroom facilities as well. And this was clearly a very traumatic experience, not for her, for everyone whosoever is going through this incident. And this is what she explained. And now, if we also talk into why she was detained. So, according to ICE, they also claimed something. So, let's understand what ICE has said. So, according to ICE, Jasmine didn't have the proper legal documentation to be in the US. And that is what the major concern is in ICE sector, that ICE followed standard procedure and processed her in line with US immigration laws. And the agency stated that any alien in violation of US immigration law may be subject to arrest or detention or removal, regardless of the nationality or whatsoever years that citizen have been in the US. And Jasmine, however, had a valid Canadian passport and was in the process of renewing her US work visa. But that's what ICE officials have claimed, that she doesn't have a proper paperwork and there was some lack of documentation, and that is why they detained her or kept in the custody in the detention for 12 days. Then Jasmine ultimately, by having all the investigation and having all the question and answer round, Jasmine was finally allowed to return home, but she's still processing what happened. And of course, that's very depressing because for 12 days, I mean, going through these torturous activities is not something to forget in a minute. Well, this case, friends, actually raise important questions about how ICE enforce immigration laws. And many people think that ICE only targets the illegal immigrants. But as we gone through Jasmine's case, we can understand that even those who have legal documents or have job offer letters or the right documentation can also get caught up in the system. So yeah, I think Napasa, this was the first story from my end. And the story is very disturbing, very disheartening because nobody was expecting. So, yeah, I hope our viewers are understanding something and they are also creating their own perspective. So, friends, please let us know in the comment section what do you think about the story and what do you think about the case study so that, everyone should get information and everyone should develop different mindsets and should know more and more about the topic.
Absolutely, Sam. And I wish I had some good news or good stories to also share where we are all very supportive or know what really ICE is doing. But right now, especially for immigrants, it has really been a scary situation. More than scary, it's the uncertainty, of not just what is going to happen in the US, but also about their own future. Like what is going to
Yeah.
happen if they are being interrogated or if they are just suddenly called on to answer a few questions or asked if they have a document on them and they don't really have it with them at that moment. So are they really going to be arrested? Or how is it going to be, right? We are all really looking for a lot of transparency. I mean, a little more would be good at least. And yeah, I think I have another story to share. So this one would be another troubling development, where 48 New Mexico residents are arrested in ICE raids across Albuquerque, Roswell, and even Santa Fe earlier this month, and their whereabouts remain completely unknown. Families, attorneys, and even civil rights groups, they have been left in the dark with no information on where these individuals are being held, whether they have access to legal counsel or even which government agency is detaining them. Isn't that scary? I mean, Sam, like just
A
think
lot.
about it.
Yeah.
Okay, you are being arrested, that's another thing. But if your families and friends know where you are really held, it's still like little console. But this is like totally in the dark. Nobody knows where these 48 New Mexico residents are.
Yeah,
And
and that's what happening right now because
yeah.
most of the deportation or most of the immigrants, those who are being detained, they are not even knowing and what's happening or are they even being detained or what's the court hearing is. They are just saying without any information, without any prior notification that what their case is all about, or do they really have lack of documentation, or if yes, then what documentations are they lacking on? It's just a simple statement that you are being deported or you're no more a citizen in US. Yeah, please,
Yeah.
Nipasa, go ahead.
No, it's true. And, that's what is happening. And I mean, 48 is no joke. It's not just four or eight, it's 48 people. And nobody knows where they are really held, And now, when you look at the American Civil Liberties Union or the ACLU of New Mexico, they have also filed a federal complaint, calling this a serious human rights violation because every human being, they have their right? And according to Rebecca Sheff, who is a senior staff attorney at ACLU New Mexico, these individuals have been forcibly disappeared from their communities with no accountability. So it's a serious matter, friends. And I mean, just imagine, okay, being arrested is another thing, but you're like made to disappear. Like we don't know where you are, what's happening, are you even alive? ICE has really described all 48 as illegal aliens, yet only 21 had final removal orders. So, meaning most were either still in legal immigration proceedings or had, valid claims to remain in the US. And
Mhm.
despite this, ICE has refused to disclose any sort of details about their detention, leading to growing concerns, I would say, about a possible unlawful treatment and even lack of due process. So,
Right.
what's going to happen? I mean, of course, imagine that happening to us as well. Our families wouldn't just wait and watch, right? They wouldn't, of course,
Mhm.
sleeping is another thing, but not able to rest until they really find out what's happening, where we are, right? So, this is the real scenario out there, and it's happening, friends. So, yeah, Sam, you can go ahead. What do you think about this
Yeah,
story, and maybe share yours as well?
it's yeah, I think it's so sad to go with these stories and know more and more, of course, it's more depressing. But friends, that's what our job is. I mean, it's better to know at least what the reality is than to be unknown. And this is what all happening. And I think, at least you should get a lot of information regarding what's happening in the world of immigration, who ICE are targeting, and what are the different stories, how people are reacting to it. By these information, at least you can have your own knowledge, you can have your own perspective, right? And of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel because also we, keep on updating these news updates, and we also have regular live shows as well where we share these very important topics and have a great discussion with attorneys as well.
Yeah.
So make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Our handle is at Immigration Talk Show. And also, don't forget to press the bell icon because any news update will be there. You won't be able to miss that. And with that, I think, Nipasa, let's take up our viewers' comments also because that's also important. And Karthik is here. So, hi, Karthik, and thank you so much for being here and putting up this comment. So let me take up his comment. And he's saying that how common is it for ICE to target people with expired visas or work permits? Okay, should someone with a pending renewal to be concerned about being detained? I think Karthik, till now, if you have watched our session, you shouldn't be asking that someone with a pending renewal to be concerned. I think the one who has all the documents or have everything, they are the one who are also being concerned. So the one who is the on pending renewal, I think there's no question to ask about it. It's just uh, like a simple answer to it. Of course, yes, a big yes. But how common is it for ICE to target people with expired visas? I think another, I mean, nothing to talk about it, but it's, of course, it's going to happen, and it's going to happen maybe in a very harsh way, in a very aggressive way. And that's how we are going through stories and we have been seeing. So, yeah, I think that's all. And Napasa, what would you, I think Karthik has another comment, so please go ahead and take that as well.
Sure. So, Karthik is adding more, asking, saying, if ICE comes to my home or workplace, what are my rights and what should I do to protect myself? How can someone handle the situation effectively? Karthik, I mean, doesn't look like a good scenario for you, especially if you have an expired visa. Why haven't you renewed it yet? And what were you waiting for? You have to have a solid explanation to that, at least, like um, probably like you could, I don't know what could be the best real reason that you couldn't be there for renewal purposes, and you better you better have one good one where you probably were, I don't know, dying or something that you just couldn't be there. I mean, even like a sick excuse maybe would not be enough for this, because you would know much beforehand when is your visa expiring, and why were you not
Right.
already taking the steps much before it expired even. So yes, what's the next? What are your rights and what should I do to protect myself? Firstly, I think it's best, I would say, to go consult an attorney. They will guide you best on how to get yourself into status. Of course, your situation has to be properly, read and researched, and why were you not able to renew your visa status. So let's see what options you have. I cannot just say like that because I don't really know what your background is, what do you do, which city are you in. So many things are going to matter. So
Yeah.
best is go consult an attorney. If you do not have one, it's high time you have one. And maybe if you're looking for one, go check out our handle as well at Immigration Talk Show, as Sam has already said, because we keep having amazing webinars with different attorneys, and we have contact information shared in each of the webinars of each attorney. So go check it out, and yeah, contact one, I would say.
That's right.
All right. So Shikha's comment, would you like to take it?
Sure. Hi, Shikha. And Shikha is saying that the collateral consequences of ICE targeting practices, including family separation, economic disruption, mental health impacts, community fear, and mistrust. Of course, I think, yeah, ICE is targeting all of them. Family separation is there, economic disruption, mental health impacts, community fear and mistrust, of course. So many things are happening, and it's so sad that, of course, families getting separated, economic disruption is also happening. I'm not very much sure, Shika, about the economic disruption, but of course, mental health is impacting a lot, not only for the illegal immigrants, but for everyone, especially for the people who are staying in the US right there, because if now in 2025 these changes are happening, and that too too early after US President Donald Trump has come to the office, then we can't even know what's going to happen in the next 3 years. And I think by having these thinking, also people are so concerned and people are so anxious, and so many things are happening. But Shika, I think I would suggest you that wherever you are, it would be the best suggestion to stay just where you are right now. Don't travel, don't go anywhere. And if you are in, I don't want to, but if you are in any lack of documentation, or if you are in any other process, or if your status is not clear, then please consult an attorney and don't try to gamble this time, because it's really high time, it's really important. And yeah, go with it, and take a right decision right now in a legal way. And that's how only not you, but everyone is going to save themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all. And Sanjay is here. So yeah, Napasa, please go
Yeah.
ahead.
Sure. Sanjay is saying the most common reason for deportation is illegal entry, right? Followed by overstaying a visa. That's absolutely right. Violating visa conditions, right? Or being convicted of a crime. Very true. And thank you so much, Sanjay, for participating with us. And I wish you could also join us on call to say those same things that you commented. But it's so true. I mean, these are some of the most common reasons of deportation, and thank you, Sanjay, for highlighting them. So, continuing to what Sanjay has to say is, ICE is responsible for interior enforcement and for detention and removal operations as well, and USCIS adjudicates applications and petitions for immigration and naturalization benefits. Well, yes, again. So thank you so much, Sanjay. Great points that you have highlighted. And yes, ICE is very much responsible, for these detention and removal operations of people, who have illegally entered or have overstayed a visa or have violated visa conditions or even have been convicted of a crime. Yes. Yes, these are some of the main points or main operations or responsibilities of ICE. So, thank you again, Sanjay. And I think with that, also, Sam, I think we should definitely wrap up our session for today. And it's sad. I mean that ICE is such an enforcement, that people are really afraid of, especially right now, these past couple of months as well. And it's
Yeah.
not been a great scene. really, with ICE and the immigrants in the United States. So, what else would you like to add, Sam, before we leave?
I think, Nipasa, we have already discussed about this topic, and right now, I would say that, of course, we have shared the examples, I mean, shared the real stories also, and there are more. And those are even more depressing, those are even more sad. But our viewers, I mean, friends, you don't lose hope because, of course, it's not only that you have nothing from your end if you're going with the right decision, if you are, consulting with an attorney. And please, it's a humble request, friends, to go ahead and consult with an attorney because they are the only one who are going to guide you. It's not me, it's not you, it's not anyone, it's not your friend or family, but it's the attorney who is really going to guide you. And the attorney contact details we have in our shows. So please go ahead, watch those shows. And we have done so many shows, right, Nipasa, how you can protect yourself, what are your legal rights, and also what are the documents you need to show. Also, when ICE comes to your home, then what are the answers you have to put on. So, friends, go ahead and watch those sessions. Those are 1 hour session, a proper detailed session, and the attorneys have explained everything in a very clear way, in a great way, so that at least you can have a right answer. You'll have a proper knowledge about all the problems or all the questions that you have in your mind. So I think, Napasa, at the end of this session, there's nothing much to add on it, but only the suggestion and only the advice to go ahead and watch the sessions. And that's the best advice, I would say, for the
Yeah.
2025 for our viewers.
Absolutely, yes. So I think knowledge is power that way. So stay updated. New rules are always coming in, and it's better to stay updated and stay where you are right now. Try not to travel much and stay safe by following each and every law. Every rule is important. So do that. Stay safe. Keep the documents that you need handy so that whenever you are asked for, you have them. And take care, of course. I know it's scary times, but this will also pass. So let's just stay hopeful, stay calm. Hopefully, we can. And, let's pray for the dawn to come in as soon as possible. So I think, yes, let's wrap up for now. But friends, you're always free to share your stories. So keep commenting, even if the stream has ended. And stay tuned to Immigration Talk Show because we keep having important updates on immigration and great news. So thank you for that, friends, for joining us today. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't as yet already. And do follow us. We are also on LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Check us out. And also, you can email me or call me on my WhatsApp number and WhatsApp me as well on 408-335-6444. If you have any queries, questions, maybe just write to me. Hopefully, I could direct you in the right way. Or if you have any questions, we will take them up with the Tawnies, in our shows. So, yes, you can WhatsApp me or send me a message in this number. And you can also email me at nipa@staffingly.com or email sam@staffingly.com. And this is it now. Friends, have a great day ahead and stay tuned once again on Immigration Talk Show. Bye for now.